Hello and welcome back. As you can see, I've got a couple of trains running around the layout at the moment. That beautiful black NEB12 there with the teak coaches. Lovely looking model. I think it looks great with those coaches. And then we've got King Edward I there just storming down past the station. Got those GWR collet style coaches. Making a lovely racket on the railway, the two of them running together, especially with the chuff chuff sound on that B12. Let's just have a look at her coming back around there past those goods wagons. It could drive you mad, the chuff chuff sound, but it is quite entertaining. So I think we'll plan to get these trains put away. We'll get the King Edward back into the station and we'll get the B12 into the sidings here, I think. So we'll just follow that King Edward just along here one more time. Terrific, off into the distance there. And one more run along the straight with the B12. And then I'll jump into the middle of the railway. Or perhaps we should just have an overall look at it all running together before that. Let's just widen the camera a little. See if we can get an overall view. I don't know whether you can notice I've got a Pullman there that's stranded on the incline. We're going to rescue that with the Class 31, the Brush Type 2 in a moment. I can't remember who it was, but they said they'd like to see a Pullman rescued by the Class 31, so we'll give that a go. And then we should just have a look from the other side, perhaps. Here comes King Edward again. I don't think she stutters very much on that diamond crossing. And there we go. I'm just going to crawl underneath and go on the inside of the railway now. I've got those blue and grey Mark 1s just sitting over there. We'll get those out for a run as well, I think. So let's see what we can get control of now. So we'll just calm down the King there, and again I've overshot the points there. I keep doing that. I keep sort of under anticipating it, so let's just back her up a little bit. And here the B12 coming in from behind at the moment. Sound like a bit of a clunk over the point work then. So let's open points number B1. There we go. So I think we should have a clear path through onto platform 2 on the station there. So let's see how we do with that. Still in reverse. There, I think we're all the way in the station there. So I'm just going to isolate her and close up the points. So we'll close B1 while we're at it. 1B, sorry. And 5B there. And now let's see if we can grab hold of the B12. So we'll calm that right down there. And we'll stop that just before the sidings on the far side there. So we're looking for points 3Y when we get there. So I think just before that signal box we want to come to a stop. There we go. So I'm going to grab hold of the point switches and we'll change that one. That one's already set. And we'll put the B12 in there next to those Great Western coaches. So if I hold it over there, we might be able to see that point go. If I can reach to the other side. Yeah, just do that. I'm not sure quite what happened there. We got a double throw on the point. So let's have another go. Yeah, I must have knocked the lever frame in the wrong direction, I think. So let's give that a little power, and we'll run her into the siding there. We'll try and get her all the way in. I think it'll fit. Let's go right up to the buffer. There we go. I think we stopped just short of the buffer there. Yeah, that was quite nicely judged. I couldn't see because this coach was in the way. So we'll just have a look down there. Look quite nice sitting together, those coaches. And plenty of space on the end of the siding there. I think we should just close that point. So we'll just swing round to the point switches. And we'll close that one. So we've got the old Pullman sitting here. It's come to a bit of a halt. So I think it's had a catastrophic failure, maybe a bird strike on the windscreen perhaps. So I think we're missing one of the windshields. I don't know whether we can see it. Perhaps not. Perhaps it's the other end that it's missing. I can't remember which end it is missing now. So one of these is quite a rough, fairly rough model. There we go. It's this end here. So perhaps we've had a bird strike there and it's knocked out the control of the entire locomotive. So sitting there with lots of angry passengers perhaps. So we'll get the Class 31 out here. Now that does have a new roof on it. We have a look at the insert picture there. Somebody very kindly sent me a new roof along with some other items as well, which was really much appreciated. So I'm very, very pleased with that. So the roof on this one originally had a soldering iron mark in it. I don't know whether you remember when we saw it, but I have had to make some reproduction codes for the ends. So typically when you want to peel them off an older one, it sort of they won't come off. So I've had to leave them on. But I think the damaged roof that I've got on that came off here with the soldering iron mark on, which I thought I had to hand, but I haven't. We'll pick that up and have a look later on. I'm going to use for another model which I've got with a complete crack across the roof there. So we'll put that onto another model which is a sort of an experimental one. I've been playing with the motor, but let's see if we can get this one underway. So we just need to open point number 1Y to start with. Sorry, 1R. So I don't know whether we can get that in view. There we go. So I didn't get very much further with the turntable over the last bank holiday weekend. I got it all sort of in and some track provisionally laid out here. This is perhaps not quite exactly as it's going to be. It's not pinned or screwed down. It's just sort of lying there at the moment. And carried out a few tests on it. It works pretty well. The Evening Star, the 9F, doesn't like coming off onto the curve. So this first radius curve seems to cause it an issue coming down the slope there. But she deals with the other two outlets really nicely. But we'll have a look at that at another time. So let's see if we can give a little power to the Class 31 here. So we've seen this model a number of times in the last few weeks, I think. So let's see if we got it in the correct direction. Through the curved point there. I think if we stop that there, I wasn't watching it, was almost out of frame. We'll open 3G here. So we can run up the elevated section to collect that Pullman. So a little more power. I'm not quite convinced this gimbal is sort of self-leveling as it should be. I keep glancing at it and it's unusually wild angles, so I apologise about that. So she's a relatively smooth runner, this. I'm just going to calm that down a little now, and we'll see if we can catch the Pullman there. There we have it. So we'll change direction, and then we'll see if we can drag that Pullman train up the incline there. And I think we need to switch some point work, so when we come down we don't go back in towards the sheds or the storage lines. So we need 1Y, sorry, 1R, I'm getting my letters mixed up, this is not unusual, and then 2B, and then I think we need 1B, so that'll do for now. We'll bring them around and up to the girder bridge there on the lower level. So let's go for a little power now. Change the direction, I think. I'd already changed the direction. So there we go. I don't think it's presenting much of a problem. Got pinpoint axles and plastic wheels on the Pullman train there, and obviously I don't have a motor bogie on there. I've just got two dummy ends. They're all slightly different colours if we have a look at them there. I think we just need to slow that down a little. We'll crawl through the point work. And we'll just bring that to a stop there. And I think we'll close up some point work before we forget. There we go, and 1B I think, and 2B. We'll just have a quick glance over here. So I've got that little Pannier tank locomotive sitting in the station here as well. So I've got her with a couple of those sort of ex-Caledonian style coaches from the early 70s there with white walled or white rimmed wheels. I thought that looked quite cute. So perhaps we'll give her a run as we move on. So let's get back to this rescue train here. So we want to open 8R so we can get into the sidings, the long sidings. And I think 1Y as well. That'll get us where we need to go. So let's just have a quick check what we're looking at. I could have sworn I've done 7 instead. It's the talking and not concentrating on what you're doing. So that one will actually run the signal when I do it, won't it? There we go. So we've got my red, which means it's set for curved in this instance, and the 1Y point. We might as well just have a look at that one again. A bit of fun with the lights changing. So that's set for straight, or not straight, but the main route around that curved point, which will go to the station. But that's now set for the sidings. So ideally what we're going to do is come in here, and we'll come in just on the inside of these Mark 1 coaches and the utility van there. So we'll see if it works. So we'll just pan back around. If I hold that with the other hand, perhaps we'll get a good view of that moving off again. Again, that gimbal has gone wild, so I'm not entirely sure about this. Sometimes it's connection. we're all the way in there. So if I just grab the uncoupler there, what we'll try and do is run through these points and collect those coaches sitting on the other platform. So I think we're just going to have to push that forward a little. We'll put the uncoupler in there. So I need to change 5W and 2W, I think, yeah. So let's go and attend to the switches, and then we'll see if that works. So 5 and 2. Be a good plan if it works. So let's see if that diesel loco will roll forwards and leave those Pullmans sitting where they are. Perhaps not. Let's have a look and see what I've done. Idiot. I shouldn't have changed number 5 because she's got nowhere to go. So I've changed the points prematurely there. Now she should roll forwards. My mistake. There we have it. Now we'll switch the point work. So this time, there's the crossover, and then 2W should be on the other end there. So we can push those Mark 1s back out onto the main line for a bit of a run. So we'll switch direction. Looking good so far. There we go, onto the main line. So I'm just going to close a couple of points. We'll start with 1Y just in case we want to roll through there later on. And this time number 8R. And then let's give it a little power. Obviously, we need to change the direction. And off she goes. Long running model this for Triang Hornby into the Hornby Railways period. She never did get the Ringfield motor. I think they wore out the moulds before they could get around to it. So let's see if we can follow that just around for a moment or two. Perhaps a little more power. Proper express train speed now. And away she goes. So I think we'll put her in the station now, pick up some passengers. So we're going to come to a stop just before the girder bridge again, I think. There we go. So that was actually running half wave, so she's relatively noisy when she's running half wave, but she does the trick. Let's widen this a little bit now so we can get a better idea of what's going on. So we want number 8R. So she'll run into that long lead into the station, hopefully through the curved point set correctly so I can see the green light, so I know it's in the main route to the station. As I said last week, that engine shed there, I'd like another one. I have just managed to acquire another one. It hasn't arrived yet, but hoping to get that in the next few days. I think that would be quite nice with a second one there. And I'm thinking perhaps a reverse point here, so we have another line into there maybe. Possibly a water tower. I'm unsure at the moment. There's a lot of sort of thinking going on there. Let's just check which platform we're going to go into on the station. So possibly it could be nice to have another one of the colour light signals here to help. So we're going to go into platform 3 at the moment, so that's pretty good, because the King Edward's on the other platform, so we wouldn't want any accidents there. Yeah, I'm just double checking. So we haven't really got anything sort of new to look at this week, and no sort of updates on the railway. It's been sort of quite busy with work and so on. So as we move further to coming out of more lockdown restrictions, time is just very short at the moment. I was very pleased with the work I got done over the last bank holiday weekend. Through the diamond, not a stutter from that. That's got the extra pickup because it's the later model with the extra pickups on it, and then into the station. We'll bring it down to the end waiting room here, just by the bridge. There we go. So I'm going to isolate her in there, and we'll close up a few points. So let's have a look. So actually, I don't need to close anything at the moment, because I want to get this little GWR Pannier tank out here that we had last week. So I think she looks quite good with these earlier trying Hornby, very early 70s coaches. So we'll give that a go. So we've got points set there. We need to set number 1, this one in here. And again, that's one, even when I see the lever frame switches, I can never remember which way around that one's set. So we'll give that a go. So I'm pointing in the wrong direction again. I don't know whether we can see that from this distance. There we have it. So hopefully that's going to move away. Let's just tighten up the camera a little bit. And I've lost my lights as well. I don't know. Last week we had lovely, glorious sunshine. I'd forgotten all about the fact that the last bulb in that sort of work lamp had gone. I'd had there been using it for years, but the bulbs are getting quite expensive and harder to find. So it's time for some LED floodlights, I think. It's always been my intention to install a couple on the walls in here, but never did quite get around to it. So it'll push me into action now that we've finally run out of bulbs. So let's give this a little power. I think I'm running in the right direction. Yeah, let's have a look. There we go. Makes a completely different sort of noise, doesn't it? And again, that's on half wave, so it's probably a little bit noisier than she could be. There we have it. So I think we'll put her into platform number 6. I'll remember one day. So let's open that one, and then we want, I think we've got a clear path. Let's have a look. So we can run right the way through there. onto platform, what's numbered? Number 5 there, I think. Or are we number 6? I've got it printed on the edge of the plate, the station canopies, but from the distance I'm standing I can't see that, so it's platform 6. So let's give that a little bow. Right up to the buffer, I think. There we go. So it was quite impressive for those coaches, I think. So it's crying out to have a crew standing on the footplate of this particular model, isn't it? When I showed it last week, the box said it should have had crew and vacuum pipes with it, but I think the little sprue with them on has probably been long gone over the years, although it hasn't done very much running this model. So I think perhaps we should just have a quick look at getting this Western out, and with the mineral wagons just before we go. So let's switch the points again. So we want number 1B, we want to change just in case of accidents. And we want to isolate that pannier tank up there. Again, belt and braces, just in case of accidents. And then we want to open 1R. And then we want to change the curved point just behind the turntable there. Let's widen the whole thing up so we can see more. So 5R I said, didn't I? Not 1R. That doesn't make sense, 1R. There we have it. So hopefully she'll roll forward now. Let's give that a little go. Obviously, the wrong direction. I was getting good with the directions a few weeks ago, but it seems to be all out the window right now. So let's stop that there. And then we'll change number 3 just in front of it there. And then we'll change direction again. I shall go past those bright red fuel tanks there. And I think we need to switch number 6 as well. So let's have a look. Number 6, yeah, she's set for curved. You don't really call points she, do you? But I think we know what I mean. So let's continue back a little. I wonder if she'll grab that Corey wagon. I have had trouble with the couplings between this Western and the older metal style couplings. The hook, the top edge of the hook, seems to catch on the underside of the buffer on the bogie. It's an uncomfortable thing, not on the bogie, on the model. So let's change direction here. And let's pull this lot out nice and cautiously. Yeah, so if you look at that swing there as the bogie and the coupling swings, sometimes the top edge of the hook on these older metal couplings catches on the underside of the buffer, which is attached to the main part of the model here. There's quite a lot of swing there. It's very low, there isn't an awful lot of clearance, so I suppose it could be down to the unevenness of some of my track as well. Probably doesn't help matters. So let's give this a little more power. So quite well behaved so far. A lot of wheels and a lot of points there. So I think we'll just switch number 1R. So then we can run all the way around the inside there without incident is the idea. So if I hold that up high, we should be able to see that run. I think quite a lot of friction with all of those wheels. They're not all silver seal, but some of them are plastic. So probably a great deal more friction in the curve there. You can hear something squeaking again. So I'm just going to let that run, and I'm going to duck back under the board here, and we'll see if we can have a quick look at that roof with the soldering iron mark on it. So there is the roof with the soldering iron mark there, and so it's quite nice to have a roof that doesn't have that mark on it. And there you can see some of the reproductions there. I just copied those. I thought I had some spares, but I didn't have any genuine spares. I took the precaution of copying the last ones I had. So it's quite nice to get that on without soldering iron marks on. So we'll have a look at the other model I've got, which I've been fiddling with the motor, and I've made a slight adjustment to it to try and get smoother running. I've also been fiddling with a 3D printed drawbar for a model I've had for some time, trying to solve a problem, but that's a video for another day. Let's just have a quick glance at this Western as she makes her way around the railway here. So if we just tighten this up, again I can hear a slight squeak on something there. But I think that's probably about it for today. So if we look back again next time, hopefully we've made a bit more progress with the turntable, and we'll have a look how we're getting on with that, and perhaps that new engine shed will have arrived and we can stand that on the railway. We'll get rid of the hand decoupler there, and off she goes, off under the elevated section there, past the fuel tanks. But thanks a lot. Goodbye now.